And you can see, again, just like the tables, just having beds out there and not be assigned dwarves will just consider that a free bed, and they'll sleep in it. And now I actually have more than 10 dwarves, so I will make some more rooms for them, I suppose. Wow, that is really lavish. 2x6 room. Ooh. Or 2x3, rather. Ooh, 2x6. That'd be crazy. And one thing you can also do, I think I mentioned, is you can smooth stone. And actually, I might as well just show how that works. It's a designate and an S for smooth stone, because I actually want these to be smoothed for the nobles. And a smoothed room with a bed and a door that is 2x2 like this, a normal dwarf is thrilled with that. That's great. They are more than happy to have that. Alright, so that's 20, so that should be enough. And eventually I'll just keep adding on to this. And that's the reason I mentioned the 20 or the 200 dwarf cap is if I play long enough, eventually this will become a like apartment complex with 200 rooms in it for dwarves, basically. Oh, the dry season has come. That's interesting. Autumn is here. Let's see, how are our stocks doing? Not bad. They are not going down. I am down. Last time I had like 60 drinks, I think. We're down to 20, so I do need to start making drinks soon. I'm starting to get a little more wealth. And if you watch the world generation, that is the created and imported and exported wealth has to do with whether or not mega beasts are allowed to attack you, which can be anywhere from trivial to something that is actually impossible to kill. That can happen. But hey, that's part of the fun. One nice thing, too, is if something comes and sacks your fort, like an army or a monster or something, you can actually attempt to come and take it back. What is that? What is that? What is that, A? Or maybe that's an alpha, isn't it? Oh, it's a lungfish. Ooh, I don't like those. So, I have a bit of an aversion to fish. It's like, I don't know if you call it a phobia. I guess you would, because I'm not afraid of them. I'm just kind of generally repulsed by the idea of the physical vicinity of fish. And so the idea of a fish that can come out of the water is just like kind of gross to me. And now you know that. You know, some people, they don't like snakes or spiders. For some reason, just fish are just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Maybe that's why I don't like fishermen. Whoops. All right, that's a fun menu. If you push capital D without anything up, it brings up the depot access. And so, since there's trees blocking that hallway, it's just all red X's. Right? Oh, no, the workshop is what's blocking it, rather. You can put a bin up there. Okay. Oh, did I use up all my rocks to make, what is that message? Cancels construct rock blocks, needs more. Yay, I used up all my rocks. I only say yay because I'm used to an older version where, like I said, miners will create a rock every time they mine out a square, and so rocks clutter up your fort really super fast. And so, blocks is one way that I know of to get rid of all the rocks. So anyway, I'm going to use up some of those blocks to make floors. And if you put a floor over an open space on top of walls like this, I just went up a layer, like so, it becomes a ceiling. Isn't that great? So I'll just go ahead and see if I have enough blocks to cover this up. And I do not. I'm short many, so I need to mine more. And I actually also want some grates, because I want sunlight to get through into my barracks and any other surface buildings that don't have anything on top of them. And the reason for that is one thing that happens to dwarves is if they stay underground too long, they get cave adaptation. And if they have cave adaptation and then they go outside, they get ill. And so one of the things that can happen if you don't have some area that dwarves go to commonly for some reason that has access to sunlight, every time you need to go outside to move stuff from the trade depot or something like that, they all get violently ill at your door, and it's disgusting. I guess you could also avoid that by just making your trade depot inside, which I could pretty easily do, but I like keeping them from getting cave adaptation. And I just noticed that I have more animals that are starving in my dining room. So I'm going to assign them out here. Actually, I want to get rid of this part that's in the barracks too, while I'm at it. So, pen pasture. Pen pasture set. And then, you know, there's those two things I put in earlier, and we want the... Now, I believe if a dwarf has, like, this goat kid that has a name, that means that it's a dwarf's pet. So I'm actually going to look that up and see if he is also starving. Nope, he is hanging out with his owner, and if a dwarf has a pet, they'll feed it. So I don't have to worry about him. I could still assign him to that pen, though, if I wanted to. But since he's a fisherman, he'll at least go outside, so that should be fine. All right. I also want more doors, but I have basically a barracks out here now. So that's nice. And for a barracks... To assign a barracks, you either need beds, armor stands, or weapon racks. And so I'm going to make some armor stands and weapon racks once my Mason's Workshop frees up. Until then, I'm going to put in some doors down here. How nice. And then once those doors get in... What do you need? Oh, that's right. I'm out of rocks. How silly. Alright, so I'm going to make a... Where do I want to put this? I guess I'll put it out of this little room. Nah, I'll leave it in so it doesn't get too far away. I'll just make some downward stairways, see what's going on. Maybe we can find some underground caves. Those are always full of fun things. And one other thing you can do, generally speaking, if I have a river like on this map, I will make a little walled-in area on the surface and make it some sort of public hangout area, and then that's where I'll put my well, which we haven't got to yet. But dwarves don't like having to drink. They get unhappy thoughts from having to drink water directly from water sources usually because it's dirty. So having a well is nice for that. And some just don't like drinking water if it's not from a well for whatever reason. But either way, you want to have a well eventually. And so I'll usually put like an area up on the surface over the river because that's really easy because the well has to be over water, obviously. So it's really easy to just, you know, put that over the river. But, like I was saying, which I think I was eventually meandering over towards, is that the underground is another good place to put a well, because there tends to be water underground. I'll probably also put a floor in the barracks, just because it looks nicer, I guess. Well, yes, because it looks nicer, not I guess. That is the reason why I will do it. Oh, and you can see because it's autumn, over here we have some trees that are dropping their leaves. Isn't that nice? Another thing you can do is, I believe it's in zones, yes. And I'll put it over around these trees. Wait, what kind of trees are these? Oh, kumquat, how nice. So one thing you can do with zones, I'm gonna just get all these guys in there, is you can do gather and pick fruit. Yeah, and then you can set all that stuff up. But if a dwarf has a stepladder, they can go and gather all the fruit from those trees. So I think they should get the kumquats from the trees, whoever has gathering set. And you can see, like, too, that big area I set out earlier to gather plants from is still getting worked on. So, oh, and I really need to get on making drinks. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hotkey for my kitchen, since this is somewhere you have to come back fairly often. So Shift H to get to hotkeys. And now that I'm making a different one, I want to push the hotkey that I want for said zone. So F function 2 for hotkey 2, and we'll hit Z and do that. And you can also obviously push N to change the name, but now F1 goes to the front, F2 goes to the kitchen, which is very nice. And I'm going to put just brew on plant from repeat, and he will brew all the plants he has that he's allowed to brew, and then he will stop, basically. Well, or he'll also stop if he runs out of pots or barrels. So I'm going to go to my kitchen before anyone gets started and make sure they're not doing anything I don't want them to do. That's fine, that's fine. Quarry bush leaves. I think I want to keep those for other things. Bones are fine. Pigtails, do not brew those. I think everything else should be fine. A lot of these, too, I didn't bring with me, and it's stuff that they found on the surface that I told them to gather in that area. And you can also see here what you can use for what. Some of these things you can only cook, some you can only brew, some you can do either. Seeds, obviously don't cook those. Yeah. Alright. So that'll get underway. As soon as somebody who can cook gets a chance, or someone who's set to cook. And the reason I only got 7 doors, you can get a lot more to show up, is more doors will come the more wealth you have created. And exported, I believe. But that's not always a good thing, because the more wealth you create and export also attracts armies of, enemy things. Any civilizations that your civilization is an enemy of will start trying to attack you more, stuff like that. So I tend to like to make sure I have my military basically set up before I try to start creating a lot of wealth. I think I needed more doors, and those got canceled because someone ran out of rocks. I'm going to make 4 more doors. Why not? Alright, then I'll make a couple of armor stands, a couple of weapon racks. Is it not R? No, it's W. Some of the hotkeys don't make sense, and that's fine. And you see we got... Oh, I need to make a spot for those turkeys. Alright. Oh, the outpost liaison had showed up. Alright, so... the traders are here, and the liaison for my civilization is here, which is great. So I'm just going to have this get destroyed real quick here, and then they will hang out for a little bit. There are also some traders that don't have caravans, and they should be able to get to the site, but once I get rid of that workshop, they should be able to come through either way, I think. Maybe not. I might have to get rid of those stairs too. Oh, I'm chugging a little bit. I wonder why. Yeah. Alright, so when the liaison shows up, he'll go to your mayor or expedition leader, as it is right now, and he'll ask you some things. He'll give you news. There's no news. The world is the same as ever. That's no news is good news. Alright, so what requests do you have? So here, we can basically say, I want these things from you. And they will then charge you more for them, but you can get things you need this way. And I will also have to wait a year, which is a while. But I can definitely do that. I'm not sure if there's anything I specifically want, though, is the thing. Let me see here. Alright, so for whatever reason, the goods menu is the arrow keys, and the type is plus and minus. I have some cloth. I have plenty of metal on site. I don't need gems for anything. Gems, you can basically just put on stuff to make them worth more. Don't need blocks. Do I need seeds? Maybe I will see if I can get some more... No, I'm good on seeds. Anvils. I have an anvil. I'm going to be able to make weapons out of metal. Trading weapons you just make out of wood, so you wouldn't want those. Same with bolts. You can make bolts out of wood. Although, if you are in a situation where you don't have access to wood, this is one of the ways you can get wood, is to just tell your trader that you want lots of wood. Q, snickering. Armor, all sorts of stuff. So I'm pretty sure... Do I want any animals? This would be the one thing that I might want. Let's see if we have anything weird. One interesting thing that got added not too long ago, I think, is that a civilization can actually learn to tame new kinds of animals. So there's like this base set of animals that they always know how to tame, but it doesn't look like there's anything abnormal there. Drinks can be good. You never know when you're going to run out of drinks. Yeah. Garden vegetables, stones, cages. Yeah, no, I think I'm good. I don't think I need anything. So he'll be mad. He's like, oh, please ask for something. But who cares? And then they will also tell you what they want. So over here, you see there's those little like circles with lines on either side. And the farther to the right they are, the more they want them and the more they will trade you for them. So it looks like right now we have tools. What is that? Cloth and cheese? Quivers? Footwear? Clear glass musical instruments. That is really specific. All right. But generally, I ignore this stuff. You can just create a lot of wealth rather than try to trade specifically with them. So usually I don't worry about it. But hey, if you want to try to play the economic game, you can do that. And then he says bye, and he leaves. So hopefully someone will come up here and get rid of that workshop so that we can get the traders in. Some of them will still come in anyway and start unloading their stuff. What is going on out there? Oh, someone's fighting a key. Yeah, keys are birds, and they will steal things. That's K-E-A. That is strange. All right, it must have been one of the traders. The traders usually bring guards with them, or they almost always do, basically. So, yeah, there's a key bothering everyone. That's unfortunate. If I had my military set up, I could tell them to get it, but then they can like fly away, and it's like keys are awful. Basically, anything that can steal stuff is awful. Birds that can steal stuff are especially awful because they can fly over things. Which is a whole thing. But anyway, as far as trading goes, we go into our queue menu again, and then you go over the trading depot, and the things you want to do if you want to trade are push R to request the trader. So next time he's free, he won't wake up to do this, so we'll have to wait until he wakes up. And then B also sets whether you need specifically the guy assigned to be your trader or anyone. You do want the guy who's assigned to be your trader because if they don't have the appropriate skills, it's you can't tell how much things are worth, and that gets annoying. And then the other thing is G for move goods to from depot. We want to do that. And then I don't think I've actually made much that I want to trade just yet. I do have some crafts, so I'll bring all those up. And the ones with the hyphens are slightly higher quality, and the ones with the asterisks are above that. I don't actually have the qualities. Oh, and then here the plus, that's also quality. I think it's below the asterisks. So I think it goes hyphen plus asterisks. I don't remember, though. Ooh, shirt figure of sponges. That's interesting. And all of these things, you can look at them, and they will have little designs and stuff on them. Like here, I can push V to view good. And then I can push V for the description. This is a well-crafted shirt figurine of sponges. The item is a well-designed image of sponges in shirt by Zuglar. Blah, 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 blah. So that's fun. Let's see. And then this is superior, right? And then I think there's also masterful or masterwork or something. Superior. And this is well-crafted. All right, so I think I had that right. Those are the only things I want to trade for now. Another thing that tends to be fairly valuable early on that you can make out of cheap stuff is mechanisms, which I will need to get on making soon for other things anyway. But once the traders are finished up and I have goods up there, that trade will highlight and I'll be able to push that to begin trading. But I think that's going to be the end of this session, so we'll get to trading next time and hopefully start getting into setting up the military and getting into some other fun stuff like nobles and all that and what they can do. So I'm still the Wizard of What, and I hope you learned something this time as well, and I hope to see you in the next session.